The film is based on a real play by William Shakespeare. It begins with a montage of news reports about the arrival of General Gaius Marcius in Rome. The Eternal City is facing a food shortage, leading to hunger among the common people. A group of politically active citizens gathers near the grain elevator to access the stored bread. A fight breaks out between the soldiers and the protesters. Gaius Marcius himself steps out to address the crowd. Recalling his past as an elite chef, he acknowledges that bread is the food of the poor but has no intention of sharing it. As a hereditary patrician and a true-blooded citizen of Rome who earned his title through sword and blood, Marcius despises the homeless, consisting of immigrants and enslaved tribes who reciprocate his disdain. Simultaneously, the political situation within the empire intensifies. The forces of the ethnic Volscian people, led by the defected Spartan Tullus Aufidius, threaten to capture Rome. Aufidius interrogates a captured Roman, learning of a brewing revolutionary situation in the Eternal City. The plebeians revolt against the Senate and patricians. Aufidius kills the prisoner, sending a recording of the execution to Rome's leadership. In the Senate meeting, Marcius threatens to confront Aufidius, his sworn enemy, in battle. He conveys the same message to the Volscian commander. The opportunity for a decisive battle presents itself in the city of Corioli, where two armies clash in fierce combat. Romans fight against the Volscians in brutal and uncompromising street battles. While the father sheds blood for his homeland, Marcius's mother and wife watch news reports from the battlefield. Volumnia, Marcius's mother, advises the worried bride Virgilia to endure her worthy son's military command with composure. Military glory adorns a man. Meanwhile, Senator Menenius, a man with a plan, visits them. He persuades Virgilia to go out to the people, but she prefers to wait for her husband at home. Meanwhile, the Roman forces, led by Gaius Marcius, besiege Corioli. During the process, local residents, at gunpoint, offer the commander a drink of water, and he, in the heat of the moment, accidentally shoots civilians but shows no remorse. Soon bloodied and having lost his entire squad, Marcius exits to Officer Titus Lartius, mentally burying the commander. The seasoned warrior, alone, clears the building and joins his own. Hearing the sounds of battle nearby, he rushes forward with a new squad, hoping to find his sworn enemy, Tullus Aufidius. After a brief shootout in the residential complex, the soldiers converge in a spacious hall. Aufidius and Marcius exchange vows of pure and sincere hatred, after which they toss their firearms aside and engage in an honest knife duel. The other soldiers obediently watch the confrontation without intervening. The generals, overflowing with intensity, crash through a window to continue the fight on the ground. However, a projectile lands nearby, stunning the warriors. Reconsidering the decision to shoot each other and the commanders, they disperse, dragging the latter to safe corners. Aufidius, now recovered, vows to finish off his opponent next time, even willing to disregard the rules of fair combat for the sake of victory. Marcius, upon returning to his homeland, receives acclaim and the moniker Caius Marcius Coriolanus for capturing Corioli. During the celebratory ceremony, he is congratulated by his mother and wife, while journalists suspect that the general will be chosen as a consul for his battlefield merits. This situation displeases two politicians, tribunes Sicinius and Brutus. With the support of the cunning Menenius, they plot a conspiracy against the hero. The people, whose support is necessary for election to the Senate, don't particularly like the arrogant general, making him vulnerable to manipulation. While the eminent military figure tends to his mother's needs and later comforts his wife, the tribunes discuss the challenging situation. What should we do to secure our privileged positions? If Coriolanus becomes consul, they might be removed from lucrative positions. In the Senate Assembly, after the general has been praised and prematurely appointed as consul, Tribune Sicinius suggests going out to the common people to secure their support. However, Coriolanus, as a hereditary patrician, is disdainful of the opinions of the plebeians and is unwilling to compromise. The Senate does not heed the defender's request and forces him to go to the market to complete the formality. Menenius accompanies the hero in addressing the people. In the market, among the common plebeians, Coriolanus struggles to contain his disdain while trying to convince them to vote for him. The people, realizing that the battle-hardened general has done much for the safety of Roma, are ready to cast their votes in his favor. After the event, Sicinius and Brutus incited their own conspirators to demand that the potential consul show battle scars as proof of service to society. Coriolanus, receiving a message from Officer Titus Lartius about troop regrouping in Aufidius, mentally prepares for a new battle. However, people distract him with discussions about discontent among the plebeians. The hero becomes furious that he has to be accountable to the lower classes, leading to public unrest questioning whether Coriolanus is a true representative of their own. The general's repeated contempt for the common people prompts members of the Senate to contemplate punishment for him. Menenius is tasked with bringing Coriolanus to the council, but he continues to hold his ground, refusing to bow to the plebeians. Even the pleas of his mother are ineffective. Nevertheless, Coriolanus attends the televised debates to acknowledge his arrogance and apologize. However, the conspirators' words and baseless accusations of treason enrage him. The hero strongly criticizes the citizens who cowardly hide behind the soldiers' backs and audaciously criticize the safety provided by the army, ensured by the sweat and blood of its soldiers. As a result, the people demand Coriolanus' expulsion from the city, and he responds with a scathing speech, accusing the plebeians of cowardice and weakness. Inspired by the citizens' passionate speeches, the hero walks away. Even Aufidius, along with Ophidius, watches this on television. Exiled, Coriolanus traverses European landscapes, observing the struggles of ordinary citizens amidst complete chaos and decay. His journey takes him through once hostile regions, while his mother, Volumnia, and wife, Virgilia, personally curse the conspirators, promising them hellish torments as a result of their sincere curses. Coriolanus hitchhikes to the coastal town of Antium. Unrecognized due to a beard and disheveled appearance, the general monitors his sworn enemy, Tullus Aufidius, who, unlike him, enjoys sincere popular love and respect. Tracing the Volscian army's base, the former Roman general arrives there to surrender. He offers Aufidius a choice, either his life or loyal service to defeat the Roman army and destroy the city. Aufidius, wielding a knife, presses the blade against the unexpected visitor's throat. However, the proposition to conquer the empire is so enticing that he accepts the offer from the disgraced commander. Coriolanus, now with a shaved head to showcase the brilliance of his battle-hardened skull, struck fear into enemies on the battlefield. He acquaints himself with the officers. Aufidius suggests using Coriolanus' knowledge to defeat Rome, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of the imperial army. The Volscian army, under his command, initiates military actions, winning one victory after another. Senators of Rome, including the tribune and Menenius, listen to the news on television. Reporters announce that the offended Coriolanus intends to avenge the Eternal City and all its residents who betrayed his loyalty and repaid his sacrifices with exile for their well-being. The Volscians ceremoniously crown their generals, presenting Coriolanus with a chair painted in gold. The common soldiers also shave their heads to emulate their commander, while officers discuss how the rank and file practically idolize Coriolanus. Against this backdrop, Aufidius gradually fades into the shadows, but as long as the ally has not defeated Rome, it is not fitting for the Volscians to turn against him. Titus Lartius, a former subordinate of Coriolanus, attends the Senate meeting. He recounts negotiations with his commander, who ignored pleas to cease hostilities in Rome. In addition, the general renounced all titles earned in the empire, declaring he would redeem a new name in the flames engulfing Rome. Tribunes suggest that Menenius, a family friend, negotiate with the disgruntled exile. However, Lartius warns that the military man won't listen to cunning politicians, thinking in more straightforward terms than deceitful senators. Menenius heads to the front lines, where he is met by Volsci citizen Cardan. Blindfolded soldiers lead the senator for an audience with the general. The mediator asks the soldier to forgive Rome for its ill treatment, but offended Coriolanus maintains silence in response. He only commands the negotiator to leave. Realizing that after what he has done, there is no redemption when the hero enters the empire's capital. Menenius, standing by the riverbank, opens his veins, choosing to quietly and peacefully bleed to death rather than be held accountable for his actions. After this incident, a women's delegation consisting of Coriolanus' mother, wife, and son is sent to the Volscian camp. The women sternly ask the warrior to retreat and spare Rome, renouncing it. Despite immense respect for his wife and mother, the hero refuses. Volumnia, to achieve the desired result, even kneels before her son, which is unacceptable for a true patrician, whose culture is built on immense respect for parents. Coriolanus refuses to abandon his plans to destroy Rome and regain his place. Then his mother insists that he must first kill her. Virgilia joins in, manipulating her husband. The son threatens to run away and avenge his father when he grows up if he doesn't relent. Under the pressure of moral coercion from relatives who employed forbidden persuasion methods known as women's tears and promises to die together with the honorable Romans, Coriolanus agrees to a peace treaty. The general goes to the capital, where he signs a peace agreement with Senate representatives. Judging by the scarred and mournful expression, the hero is not pleased with this turn of events, but he sees no other way out. With the treaty, Coriolanus returns to the Volscian camp, where Aufidius, along with other commanders, discusses the fact that they disagree with such an outcome. They had victory in their hands, but Coriolanus refused it. Soon, the general returns with a peace treaty. He tells Aufidius that he remains his soldier, but Aufidius, in response, calls him a traitor and addresses him by his Roman name, emphasizing the difference between them. Aufidius turns to his soldiers, accusing Coriolanus of cowardice and betrayal, prompting the old pride in Coriolanus, who retorts by calling the Volscians rabble. The dispute naturally ends in a brawl. A dozen soldiers of Aufidius attack Coriolanus. The general manages to kill two before wounds render him unable to resist. Then Tullus Aufidius ends their years-long rivalry with a single strike under the rib, embracing his old enemy in the final moments of his life. He leans over the dead body of the exile, who never avenged the betrayal,